Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 12th post-cabinet press briefing, 6th May 2025. To present today's cabinet highlights, let me invite the chairperson of this session, the Honorable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Mswere. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate. His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, chaired the 12th Cabinet meeting, and the following issues, among others, were considered and approved. Cabinet considered and approved the minimum service delivery standards for local authorities in terms of the framework. The nation will recall that in 2023, His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, officially launched the blueprint on a call to action, no compromise to service delivery, the first stage of interventions to modernize the operations of local authorities towards Vision 2030. Local authorities were directed to develop roadmaps towards the attainment of the vision. On its part, the government of Zimbabwe developed minimum service delivery standards to guide local authorities in the implementation of the roadmaps. The objectives for developing minimum service delivery standards are to define the minimum levels of services that local authorities should provide and the nature of service recipients should expect in terms of quantity, quality, time and cost, to determine minimum cost for the provision of services, to provide uniformity and consistency in the provision of services at local level, and to provide a basis upon which feedback on the level of satisfaction against the standards will be evaluated. The minimum service delivery standards framework places focus on water supply, sanitation, solid waste management, roads and public lighting, corporate governance, public health, environmental issues, and housing and community services. Each area is performance indicators, benchmarks, and performance standards. The data will be submitted online with a real-time dashboard system being implemented to track, monitor, and evaluate progress. The performance of local authorities, both urban and rural, will be based on assessments set in the minimum service delivery standards framework. Cabinet considered an update on price movements and the availability of basic commodities in the domestic market for the period January 2025 to March 2025. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, through the ministry, conducts routine surveys to monitor prices and the availability of basic commodities with the ultimate goal of safeguarding and promoting consumer welfare in the economy. The surveys target 14 basic commodities, namely mealie meal, laundry soap, cooking oil, bread, sugar, flour, rice, bath soap, washing powder, fresh milk, eggs, beef, chicken, and salt. The nation is advised that there is a positive correlation between the movements in the price of basic commodities and exchange rate movements. On a positive note, the gap between the official and parallel market rates has been narrowed during the period under review. It has also been observed that local products continue to dominate shelf space in both the formal and informal sector outlets. Compliance inspections undertaken by the ministry have resulted in 137 prosecutions, the issuance of 245 compliance notices, and the seizure of 3,427 units of different products. The current tight monetary policy is yielding results in terms of management of inflation and maintaining exchange rate and price stability. Cabinet considered and noted the review report on the 2025 Zimbabwe International Trade Fair. The 65th edition of the ZITF was officially opened by the President of the Republic of Mozambique, His Excellency Comrade Daniel Chapo, who reminded both nations of the enduring power of unity and emphasized the profound historical and political connections dating back to the fight against colonialism. President Chapo urged the two nations to increase trade between the nations and to leverage on the membership of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Pertaining to the level of local and foreign participation, 8,179 business visitors were registered compared to 7,934 that were recorded in 2024. The total number of exhibitors in 2025 reached 574 compared to 517 recorded in 2024. The private sector participation is shown a marked increase, with 368 companies exhibiting in 2025, up from the 298 recorded in 2024. 30 foreign nations attended the fair, which is a clear testimony that the government's engagement and re-engagement policy is yielding results. The inaugural Rural Industrialization Indaba, captioned Inclusive Growth, Industrial Roots, Unlocking Zimbabwe's Raw Potential, drew the participation of 378 delegates. The key objective of the Indaba was to map strategies to transform rural communities into vibrant micro-medium industrial hubs, thereby fostering inclusive economic growth across Zimbabwe. The trade fair also hosted side events such as the Zimbabwe-India Business Session that attracted new Indian investments into Zimbabwe, currently estimated at United States dollars 600 million. The Research for Industrialization conference that featured models in terms of innovation such as the Lupane State University's Gold Production Project and the Midlands State University's Core to Tie Initiative and the Diplomats Forum, among others. Regarding economic impact assessment, a notable 6.3% of respondents indicated the successful conclusion of business agreements, signifying substantial economic engagement. Beyond the immediate monetary value of deals, the fair has also facilitated the forging of key agreements. An impressive 20% of respondents reported the signing of various agreements, underscoring the platform's role in fostering long-term collaborations. Cabinet considered and approved the Climate Change Management Bill of 2025, which was presented by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. The Climate Change Management Bill aims to achieve alignment with Section 73 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which guarantees environmental rights for present and future generations. The bill seeks to mainstream climate change across all sectors of the economy, prioritizing adaptation and mitigation efforts. The bill will regulate greenhouse gas emissions, promote low carbon development, and support carbon trading. It will establish a designated national authority for carbon trading and a national climate fund to support climate change initiatives by providing a comprehensive legal, framework. The bill will address existing climate-related statutes gaps, ensuring a coordinated approach to climate change management across various sectors. Cabinet received and noted progress reports presented by 4 line ministers as at day 50 of the 100-day cycle program. The Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under her purview. Under the social protection thematic area of National Development Strategy 1, the establishment of the Auna fruit and vegetables processing plant, which will benefit over 2,600 farmers from Wonde Valley, Mutasa and Nyanga districts, is expected to be completed by mid-May 2025. The construction of Muzingwane Safe Market with 20 vending stores and 6 kitchens was completed. The construction of a perimeter wall substructure at Golden Valley Community-Based Center for Skills Training and Entrepreneurship Development in Makonde District in Mashonaland West Province is ongoing. Under the Economic Growth and Stability thematic area in terms of NDS 1, the construction of the Gazaland workshops in Harare Metropolitan Province is ongoing with designs completed, plans approvals almost complete. Some construction materials are now on site. And pertaining to the funding of the micro, small and medium enterprises, 151 small to medium enterprises applied for funding. 52 projects were appraised and approved, and 22 projects were funded as at 18 March 2025. The Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under his purview. Under the Youth, Sports and Culture thematic area in terms of NDS 1, the Youth Coding and Digital Skills Program, which targets capacitation of 1.5 million youths, which was launched by His Excellency the President Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, has ensured that 20,000 youth have participated to date. The Mbire Youth Goat Improvement Program, targeting the distribution of 30 pure Boer goat bucks benefiting approximately 300 youths in Mbire district, was launched on the 27th of March 2025. The Development Partner Stakeholder Engagement Program, targeting to develop a youth empowerment strategy that aims to unlock financial resources for youth programming, was organized. The youth empowerment strategy was developed and implementation is on course. The national drug and substance abuse campaigns are ongoing, and 79 awareness sessions which were completed reached out over 165,000 youths. The renovation of 24 hostel blocks accommodating 1,000 students at Guyu Training Center in Gwanda District, Matabeleland South Province, is at 30% in terms of completion. The construction of a multi-purpose workshop at Sivomo Vocational Training Center in Kai District of Matabeleland North Province is ongoing. Works have reached 55% in terms of completion, with the ring beam casting and wall plate brickwork completed. The construction of a multi-purpose workshop at Kadoma Vocational Training Center is 50% complete, and the Youth Community Skills Outreach Program, targeting capacitation of 924 youths, is ongoing. The Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under his purview. Under the housing delivery thematic area in terms of NDS 1, the construction of 64 units of 4x4 story blocks of flats under the Marondera Flats Housing Project in Mashonaland East Province is at 90% in terms of completion. the construction of 2 blocks of garden flats and 2 blocks of double-story duplex flats under the Beitbridge redevelopment project in Matabeleland South Province is at 71% in terms of completion, and the construction of 4x4 story blocks of flats under the Zambezi Flats project in Harare Metropolitan Province has commenced in earnest. Under the social amenities thematic area of the NDS 1, the construction of the waiting mothers shelter under the Uzumba Maramba Pfungwe Mutawa Tower housing project in Mashonaland East Province has reached 90% in terms of completion. The Minister of Health and Child Care highlighted the following achievements in terms of projects under his purview. The replacement of gel batteries with lithium batteries at 50 health facilities is 100% complete. The construction of a health post in Wanke district in Matabeleland North Province has been completed. The construction of the Manize Rural Health Center in Chikomba district in Mashonaland East Province is making steady progress. The site has been fenced and a bore drilled. The foundation for both the main health facility and accommodation units were completed. The installation of oxygen plants at Lupane and Chinhoyi Provincial Hospitals has reached 30% at both hospitals, and the installation of digital X-ray machines at 5 district and mission hospitals is 100% complete. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting today's cabinet highlights. We move on to the first round of 3 questions. Then we will ask the Honorable Ministers to respond to those questions. Then we move on to the second round and last of 3 questions again, and the ministers will respond. Over to you, colleagues. Yes.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. My name is Amaida Murira from the Herald. My question relates to the minimum standards that has been set for local authorities. My question is, does the framework of minimum standards provide consequences for those local authorities that fail to meet the envisaged threshold? I thank you.
You are happy? No further questions? Brugira? Yeah? You can go ahead.
I think I'm done, Chief Secretary.
Whilst they are still looking at their notes, maybe Minister, you can respond to that question from Murwira.
Thank you, Chief Secretary Dr. Rushwaya. Jamaida, the minimum service delivery standards for local authorities is an alignment to the blueprint that was launched by the President, His Excellency Dr. Idim Nangagwa, on a call to action, no compromise to service delivery, and the first stage of interventions to modernize the operations of local authorities towards Vision 2030. This is a framework that is going to provide for minimum standards in terms of service delivery as a minimum benchmark in order to guide local authorities in the implementation of their roadmaps. Yes, of course, when there is performance, they are bound to be expected to have the penalties related to that. So the primary focus is in order to ensure that the nature of service recipients or clients should expect in terms of quantity, in terms of quality, in terms of time and cost, to determine also the minimum cost in terms of service provision, to provide uniformity and consistency in the provision of services at local level, and to provide a basis upon which feedback on the level of satisfaction against the standards will be evaluated. So obviously this is a continuous evaluation process, but the national framework is there to set a minimum service delivery standard with a major focus on water supply, sanitation, solid waste management, roads and public lighting, corporate governance, public health, environmental issues, housing and community services. So this is a national framework with clear indicators, benchmarks, and performance standards. I'll give you an example. Citizens who are continuously billed by the Harare City Council and have not been receiving the services is one indicator that can be measured. Whether the amount of money that you have paid for a particular service, be it in terms of water supply, does it match this particular national benchmark? This will also include this particular city council. Is it managing solid waste management properly? Is the lighting at the correct benchmark in terms of level? The schools, the education systems, the environmental issues in a particular jurisdiction. So these are the major focus in terms of creating a standard in terms of evaluation and performance. And this will be monitored through a real-time dashboard system which will track, monitor and evaluate progress. To monitor Mutare City Council, to monitor Masvingo City Council and any other local authority. But this sets a foundation which is aligned to the call to action as pronounced by His Excellency the President, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. So you have to have a benchmark, a standard, in order to measure performance and evaluate performance. Thank you.
Question, the importance of information cannot be overemphasized. What we have been doing as a ministry is to make sure that information does trickle down to each and every Zimbabwean, every corner of the country. His mantra, our president, is not to leave anyone behind or any place behind. The projects which we are carrying out are supposed to benefit everyone. If you could see from the just these projects, they cover almost 5 provinces, meaning that there's a regional balance to make sure that we reach each and every community so that they can benefit from the projects of the Second Republic. If you can see, when we talk about rural transformation, it is about really empowering the women, the SMEs, so that at least it starts from there. We will never be able to achieve Vision 2030 if we are going to leave other people behind. The SMEs in this particular case are playing a very critical role in this country to make sure that the economy develops in terms of job creation. If you go to Gazaland, where you're talking about, if you see, we've created clusters. We've got textile clusters, we've got leather clusters, and these people, the SMEs Act, which I administer, talks about provision of decent workspace. And this is precisely what the government is doing through many other ways. Through my ministry, you have seen what we have even done at Mbare. That shows you that the importance of providing workspace, decent workspace for that matter, will make the economy grow. We know the SMEs are providing so much to the GDP of this country. What they need is services. When it comes to information, we use our structures, as a ministry, we do have structures from the national level, we'll go to the provincial level, then we'll go down to the 67 districts, we've got district development officers, and we don't stop there. We go down even to the ward level. Each and every day there's activities happening, campaign awareness, so that each and everyone can access information. We are also using the community radio stations, which have been licensed, because we know they've got a wider reach in terms of reaching out to all these people. All the programs which the government have, they have to reach to everyone. But remember, this is about business. That's why it's called small and medium businesses. So people should come up with projects which appeal to those who are assessing the business, which you want to do, the business project which you want to do. So yes, we have got the Women's Microfinance Bank. Yes, it had its teething problems, but we are happy to say the Minister of Finance has started really resourcing it, and we want it to reach more, especially when it comes to women businesses. Then we also have the SMEDCO. SMEDCO is the one which is doing the Gazaland one, the workspace which is being provided for our SMEs there. So this will continue, like what you saw at Mbare, we'll replicate that in all the other cities, in all the growth points, in all the rural areas, because when you provide workspace, you are making sure that you don't just provide workspace to SMEs in Harare or in Bulawayo or in Mutare, but you are providing workspace for those who are also in growth points. That's the only way we can decongest our cities and also provide that opportunity for them to grow. I thank you.